Hello everyone, it's Matt here from MTG, and today I've got another Deck Tech gameplay video for you. And what have I got? It's a little brew that I call Blue-White UW Mil Control. What the deck is based around is Psychic Corrosion. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Now, I will just say now, there is another little spell that plays an enchantment at the moment that whenever you play a blue spell, it mills your opponent as well. But we do play, quite a lot of white spells, as you can see on there. 3 Revitalize, Seal Away, Set the Wreckages, Ixalan bindings. We've got a lot of white cards in there. So I don't want to be hitting and missing with that. So Psychic Corrosion is basically one of our main win cons, obviously with Teferi. Now this is a 60 card deck tech because it's ready for the free to play section on MTG Arena. But the way I'm playing it, I could take this to competitive because it's really, really fun. As you'll see in the gameplay in a bit later, it's a really, really cool deck. So let's take a look at what we got. We want to be drawing cards because we want to be milling. So every time we draw a card, Psychic Corrosion makes them put 2 cards into their graveyard. So we got 3 opt in there as our 1-drop. Scry's 1, draw a card. Really, really good card. Mets to mill for 2. We get the Scry, find what we need. Obviously, you know what opt does. Really nice. Automatic draw. And we can do this, obviously, at the start as well, when we maybe a turn 1 play, where we haven't got the, the best hand that we've keeping, but we need to find what we need. Opt can help you find that. We've then got 3 of Revitalize. This is important because of the meta where it's all fast and speedy. This will gain us 3 life and draw a card. So later on when Psychic Corrosion's down, it's nice because it triggers that, obviously. And, 3 life if you have to use it early because those aggro, the red creatures, the pyromancers, everything like that's coming at you. The stompy. This is nice and important. And we've got 9 life in Revitalize there, which is definitely going to help us out. Early removal as well. We got a little bit of early removal and counter spells as well. Can help us in the early part of the game until we can get to the milling part and Teferi to win. This is Seal Away. Really good card. Has flash, exile, target, tap creature and opponent controls. Don't always rush down to do this with an early aggro creature because, sometimes you might get a Phoenix or something like that. Or even a demon, the Whisperer. You want to get good cards like that as well. But if you have to use it early to stay alive, make sure you do. Blink of an Eye is in there as a 2 of as well. Has the added draw of kicking it and maybe we draw a card, which obviously drawing cards is what we want to do. But Blink of an Eye can get rid of really hard Planeswalkers. Maybe it's a Teferi on the opponent's side. We can blink that back if we want as well. Blink of an Eye is in there as a 2 of. We then have some early counterspell magic in there, as a heavy creature meta. So Essence Scatter is in there as a 3 of counter target creature spell. And we also run a 2 of Negate in the main board as well. This has just been nice. You know what Negate does. Psychic Corrosion I have spoke about. It's one of our main win cons along with Teferi. Well, it is the win con. What am I saying? The main one. It is the win con. Psychic Corrosion can get down there. The chances are that your opponent are not going to have much enchantment removal in free to play. This is why this is just so good in there. In their 60 card deck, they might have something. But, they could strip it away from your hand with thought erasures and stuff like that. But Psychic Corrosion is, when you get one of these on, I've won many games with one of these on the battlefield, but you get 2, oh, the card draw is brilliant, and then you just start milling your opponent well out. Sinister Sabotage is in there, 3 counterspell, gets us Surveil 1 as well, so we can try and find what we need. And then we go on to a bit more removal. We've got 1 of Ixalan's bind in there. I did have 2, but I wanted to make more for more mass removal in Cleansing Novas. But we've also got a 2 of Settle the Wreckage, exile all attacking creatures. From the gameplay today, I'm coming across a lot of decks that are utilising graveyards and stuff like that. So Settle the Wreckage, always been a good card and has to be in there as a 2 of. Extra card draw. Chemister's Insight. I really want to make this a 4 of, but I just can't fit it in at the moment. I like the opt as the early play, and I like Revitalize because I need the life gain. So this is in there as a 3 of, draw 2 cards. And of course, it's there as a 3 of, but actually it's like 6 because when it goes, you can actually do jump start and cast it again. So even there's only 3 in the main, it does feel like there's a lot more. Sleep is in there. Tap all creatures, target player control, they don't untap. This has been a lifesaver many times. I come across it when I was playing against Merfolk, and I just thought, oh, maybe I can fit it into the deck because it just seems pretty cool. 4 mana, taps them down, and it might save you that extra turn to start spinning your rolls off you when you're drawing cards. It doesn't take many if you go opt, into Chemister's Insight. You're milling a lot of cards. If you've got Psychic Corrosion on there, you really can win games very, very quick. And also, sometimes your opponent just quits. So, we do have 2 Cleansing Novas, destroy all creatures. You've got the other ability where you destroy artifacts and enchantments, but we are using this mainly to destroy all creatures. And then we have the big boy, Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. This is great because what's good about, obviously, MTG Arena, 3 of these in my deck has just cost me 3 wildcards. It hasn't cost me $170 to play, which is a huge, huge difference, ladies and gentlemen. Teferi is in here. 3 of. Drawing card works so well with Psychic Corrosion. Corrosion and Teferi are just like a match made in heaven for me. This is just really, really cool. And if we get to the Ember, well, that's just GG's. The land base is pretty simple. We've got a Field of Ruin in there, and we've also got a Detection Tower that I like against those hex-proof creatures, and I always will say, make sure you put them in. I've got 3 Glacial Fortress and 1 Meandering River just because I haven't got the 4th Glacial Fortress yet. But if you have got the 4th Glacial Fortress, make sure you put it in there. But you know what the grind's like on MTG Arena, but I would swap that for a Glacial Fortress. We've got a Memorial to Genius, which we can sack to draw cards, which is another great ability with Psychic Corrosion. This potentially will get up to 2 as well when I pick up another one. And then we've got 10 islands and 7 plains, 24 lands in total. It is the blue-white Mil Control deck that sometimes just makes your opponents rage, but you can't see it like on MTGO because all they can give you is a good game or a hello or your turn. I love that. I really like the ability of just doing that. It's really, really good. Anyway, guys, without further ado, if you are new to us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before we get onto the great gameplay. And if you're liking what you see so far, you can hit that like before even the gameplay. That always helps out the channel. But without further ado, like I said, let's get on to the gameplay. So here we go with the first game with the UW Control, Mil Control. My little Jace man's there. So, opening hand, what have we got? We're playing Filou. So we got Glacial Fortress, Plains, Island, Silhouette, Teferi, Sabotage. It's a pretty sweet hand to start with, I must admit, in our opening game that we had. So, opponent came down with Swamp, and then we draw an island. We're going to lead off, obviously, with that. Go down with a Glacial Fortress next turn. The island's in play. We've got a nice few lands in this game we did. Card sale freebooter was a pain. So we know what opponent was going to take here straight away. Goodbye Teferi. Goodbye Teferi. And of course, what was good about that as well, well, good for our opponent was that they saw we had a seal away, which means they won't be attacking anytime soon with their little freebooter. Must admit, I've not come across freebooters much at all since I've been playing Arena, and this is probably the first game for quite a while where I've come across it. So we're going to go down there. We're just going to keep passing turns. This was quite an interesting game to start off with because, you know, it was a bit of control. I was assuming that, obviously, because they seemed to be mono black when I first started playing them, but I think they turn out to be Dimir, if my memory serves me right. So thinking Vraska's Contempt, stuff like that. Probably the demons, as are in these decks. Opponent's just not playing with him, but this definitely surprised me. It was a little burglar rat, but what it does is obviously makes your opponent discard cards. Freebooter takes cards, so possibly you're going to have cards like Divest and stuff like that, which are going to come in, take out your hand and everything like that. Basically just trying to deplete our hand, which is, you know, we got an overload of land there, so we don't really mind too much about that. Going to draw a card because we need to find something. Sabotage and Seal Away is not really going to do it for us, but we draw a Chemister's Insight, which is pretty nice as well. We draw another land we did. Play that because obviously it comes in tap. There's not much else we can do. We still got the mana to play Chemister's Insight if we want to. Obviously depending on what our opponent plays. Which they're not going to play a lot in this first bit of the game because they know what we got. They're thinking we're control. We're drawing, you know, they know we've got Sabotage. We've got a counter in hand. They know this. But we draw our first Psychic Corrosion. Let's start the mill. Not sure why I tap-tipped me out myself there. Because there was nothing. I couldn't even place out the Wreckage. So I think I was just like, oh, I'm going to leave double white up. Even though I've only got 3 mana. Yes, maths is not obviously one of my strong points. Opponent plays a Swamp. Well, we're on 23 life. Our life title's not, you know, I don't mind just letting these attack in. We're not under this. But this is something that I don't really want to see. And this worries me because obviously we've got Teferis. So if they're playing multiple Eldest Reborns, that this deck kind of sort of does. They normally play the full 4. Which could be a bit of a problem for us, but we need to deal with that, because if that comes down, we've got Blink of an Eye that we can obviously send it back with if they have one of them. But if they get one of our Teferis, it's going to be hard to deal with. We've got no Vraska's Contempt like our opponent. So opponent plays a dark bargain. Look at the top 3 cards you lie. Put them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. We don't mind that. That's a bit of mill. And it deals 2 damage to them as well. But we're never really, you know, we're not going to be doing damage to our opponent or anything like that. I mean, what's good about this deck is that, obviously, they're just thinking about removal all the time. A lot of decks will have removal. It's just dead on us. This is what's strong about this deck. There was a divest that I did think that we would get, but there's no creatures or artifacts. We don't have to worry about anything like that with this deck. That's what's so cool about it. I do choose to seal away. Opponent knows we've got it in our hand anyway, so they're just going to be playing around it. We're going to start doing the mill now if we can. Draw some cards. Get another Psychic Corrosion, which is absolutely a top draw for us, because we want to start milling them as fast as we can. Then we draw another Teferi. See, we're going to play the Psychic Corrosion first, because obviously we're going to draw a card with Teferi, which gives double mill with a Corrosion. Opponent's still got a nice fist full of cards, though. 6 cards in hands. Teferi comes down. He won't hide from the world any longer, will Teferi. Corrosion does its mill. That's what we want. Untap 2 lands. And remember, boys and girls, if you have got a Teferi and you're playing it, don't do what I've done before. Is, you know, sometimes you've had to untap my opponent's lands, which is really annoying. There was the second Eldest Reborn. So yeah, always tap your lands even if you haven't got any tap, because you will have to do it, so you'll have to untap your opponent's lands. So make sure even if you're not playing anything, just tap your lands so you don't untap your opponent's. So we lost Teferi there straight away to the worrying Eldest Reborn that I did worry about. Revitalize is going to gain us a bit of life back. Our life total is not under threat whatsoever. We're just going for the mill here. Straight out mill. We've got a Memorial to Genius there that can draw some more cards. For some reason I was trying to think, well, I haven't played a land, and I just like stupidly tried to play it 3 times, even though I'd already played a land, so God knows why I was doing that. It was good to have it as a discard spell, though. Just had a quick look there. Opponent's got 21 cards left in their library. And our life total is under no effect. We do lose a set or the Wreckage there. But we can tap our Memorial at the end of this. Mastermind's Acquisition. When that was spoiled, that was definitely one of my most favourite cards. I brewed around it for ages. So you can go back and see one of my old deck techs. If you search through, you'll be able to see that I brewed a deck that I brewed with that. But it probably that was last standard, to be honest, though. So it could need a bit of an update. I have a little look at their graveyard here just to sort of see what they're playing and stuff like that. See what could be coming. Diamond Mares with their gaining life. Tetsnook, Izareth, Karns. Pretty strong deck this was, to be honest. Had some real powerful cards in. So for in combat, we're going to Memorial to Genius and get 4 interactions, which is really cool with the Psychic Corrosions, because we've got double down. And we draw a Chemister's Insight, which is just pure mill for us. There we go. Mill. Oh, it's counting down. It's counting down. Chemister's Insight. There's another 2. Boom. 8 cards. Chemister's Insight comes down. And we can actually play it again as well, because we've got Jumpstart. 4 mana available. This is GG's first game to the blue-white Mil Control. Yes, guys and girls. How strong is it? It's so cool, isn't it? The way you can just mill your opponents. Really, really cool. So, on to game 2. Playing Zarzan. The power of Jace is what we need. Come on. Opening hand. It's not too bad. Field of Ruin, which means potentially we could kill a land, hopefully. I don't think it's too much of a sketchy keep with 2 5-drops and non-double blue. But, you know. It's not the sort of hand. We've got to seal away as early play, and hopefully we're just going to draw into lands or something like that. Opponent plays. Oh. Now, this is a really, really cool game. So make sure you're watching this guy's deck, guys. It's really, really cool, I must say. Some of you may have known it. I've never come across this deck. Thoughtbound, it's like a defender deck that has, you need Surveil to activate them, and it's like, it is a combo. It's a really cool deck. So we draw Sleep there, which isn't too bad. We've got Detection Tower. And I probably misplayed my land a bit there. I should have played Field of Ruin first. Well, I know I should have played Field of Ruin first. Because I didn't have the other colour land. So that was a slight misplay on my part there by playing Detection Tower first. So we played a Field of Ruin. We draw Psychic Corrosion. I'm not sure what to do because I don't know whether to just This, you know, the opponent's deck did have me a little bit stumped. I saw that it could do what it could do with Surveil, but I wasn't sure how much it could, you know, how much damage it could do. I thought, well, keep it back. I've got Cleansing Nova there. I'll draw into the lands. I'll be able to get rid of these at some point, was what I was thinking. So I eventually kick off the Field of Ruin, destroy one of theirs so we can go and get one of our lands. And I actually go for I think I go for the Plains here, because I'm thinking Cleansing Nova, probably the strongest one to pull. So I want to play Cleansing Nova. I've got 3 creatures on the board, and I'm worried about them flipping over if they do flip. So we get a Plains. If he does manage to do anything with Surveil now, I've got to seal away to get rid of one of them. But nothing was happening. I was a little bit something, because they got, you know, they got the mana open. So, you know, I'm playing around a counterspell deck because I think they must have counterspells, because it's like Surveil deck, stuff like that. They've got to have something. Psychic Corrosion goes straight through, which makes me think they might have just, you know, passed turn, which is a bit annoying because I could have Cleansing Nova there. But I was trying to play a bit safe, and maybe I did play too safe. So Doom Whisperer comes down. This obviously has Surveil pay 2 life. So this resolves. Thoughtbound Fanaticism. When you Surveil, put 1/1 counter, and basically they lose Defender. Here we go. This is the combo. This is such a cool game, guys. And our opponent's deck, Zarzan, I love this deck. I might honestly do a dedicated deck tech for you. I don't suppose you'll ever get to see this match, but it was absolutely amazing. Obviously, you see it when you played in it, but what I'm saying is you won't see the video. But if you do, congrats on your deck. I absolutely loved it. So I'm still thinking, you know, maybe I can get away with this. You know, like I said, my maths isn't great. But they can literally, I mean, I'll be able to seal away one of these. And I'm thinking, there's me thinking, oh, this is not too bad. But then they just keep going and going and going and utilising their life. And these are going to get pretty big. I mean, to get 3 of them on the field out the 4 that you've got in your deck and a Doom Whisperer the next time without it being countered or any of these being killed is probably very lucky. But to actually get this combo off like this is what you build these types of decks for. It's absolutely amazing and epic. And there's literally nothing I can do. Literally nothing I can do. I've got a little seal away that when one attacks, I'm going to seal away it. But as you can see, these are just going to get too big and they're going to take all my life. 7/7/7. That's 21 damage. But our opponent doesn't stop there. They're just going to make sure. They're worried about seal away. So they're going to make these all 10/10s. So our opponent just keeps surveilling on. Surveilling. And I let this play out and record because I was just so impressed with the deck. I just thought it was really cool. Creeping Chill is going to do 3 damage to each opponent, and then they're going to gain life as well, which is a nice interaction that they have with this as well. So the Thoughtbounds go up to 9s. They've only literally got to get... Well, they're actually big enough already, but our opponent just wants to make doubly sure that, you know, there's not something strange that we could do, but there's literally nothing that we can do. Just had a little look at their graveyard there just to see what was in the deck. And there they are. The Thoughtbound Fanaticisms are all 10/10s attacking in. And I cast that literally just because I had a feeling that it was casting blue or white spells today, so I was just trying to up to get my coins and stuff like that. Which is, there's no disgrace in doing that, guy. If you know, rather than just quitting. If you want to get towards your coins, make sure you do that. Our opponent, hats off, amazing deck, and that is the best way I've ever been beaten on MTG Arena, without a doubt. That is a great defeat. So, on to the last game. We're playing HW Dragons. Oh, is it going to be a Dragons deck? They're big and bad. Opening hand is pretty decent. We've got an Opt, Corrosion, the right mana. Absolutely brilliant. So we can play our island turn 1 with the ability to play the Opt next as well. There is our Swamp. And I'm like, I remember I quickly looked at our opponents thinking, oh, I hope it's not the same deck. I'm going to keep Essence Scatter on top. We'll draw our Essence Scatter so we can untap with either now Seal Away or an Essence Scatter in case it's something that we might want to seal away. It might be aggro. But down comes another one, and it's like a graveyard deck. So putting stuff in the graveyard might actually help our opponent here. I thought about Essence Scatter in it, but it's absolutely no point wasting Essence Scatter on one of them. You're better off Seal Away in it if you want to, because you Essence Scatter, you waste a counter spell, and it just goes, and they can just bring it back anyway. So make sure you never do that. So we're going to get the Corrosion down, because I'm going to get, right, now we've got 2 of these down, you know, the mill is on. The mill is on. We want to get this down and start milling our opponent. And what I actually didn't notice in this game was, I'm pretty sure our opponent had more than 60 cards in the deck. So maybe they've been hit by a mill a few times. I'm pretty sure they have more than 60 cards. So we're going to get down with another Psychic Corrosion. Put down the Meandering River because it comes in tapped. We don't, you know, might as well get that in now. Thought Erasure and Vraska's Contempt is a little bit worried because obviously Vraska's, when you're playing against those decks, they can deal with our Teferis. But what's good about this deck, you don't need Teferi to win. You know, it's not essential to win. You've seen, you can win without the Teferi coming out. So we're going to go and search for a lovely Plains here, put that onto the battlefield. Opponent attacks in with a Resembling Skeleton there. We draw another Seal Away, but we get our little interaction here, so we get to mill the opponent. Just having I always like to look at the graveyard to see what trying to, you know, it gives you a guide of what you're actually trying to play against. Seems like a good time for Teferi, so I play Teferi, draw cards untapped, which means we can keep up Essence Scatter or Seal Away if we need to. And plus now, obviously, we start milling a little bit more a turn, which is really cool. The interaction's good, so we get to mill 2 more. And then another 2. So they're going to bring back a skeleton. And we get to untap 2 lands. So we untap the Plains and the island. So it gives us the option of Seal Away and Essence Scatter. There's a Vraska. So Teferi eats Vraska. Or Vraska eats Teferi, shall I say. The evil eyes come up. Opponent gets to attack. Now I've got 2 Seal Aways in there, so I'm going to actually seal one of these because obviously it exiles it, so they can't bring this one back. And it cuts the clock down to 18 turns instead of 9, which is, you know, good reason for doing it. So we get to mill some more there with the Psychic Corrosions. We've not got anything on hand. And then I look at our opponent's hand, he's got like 44 cards in there. I don't think the Petty has still dropped that they've got more than they should in their deck. 44 there, 15 there, so that's 59. I've got 1 on my side, so that's 60. 61, 63, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7. I think it looks, is it 71? 71 card deck, maybe 72. Very strange. But we get an opt, which is very nice. We can play our land, and then we'll play the opt. We'll start with it. There's another opt, so you might as well keep it. When you're doing that, keep the opt, because you just, you know, you're spiraling, you're going on with your card draw, you keep milling. There's another 2, so there's 4. Here's another 4. Sleep on top. Thinking I might need sleep, just because I don't know, you know, I'm on 16 life. So we pull sleep, and then there's some more cards going. We're getting rid of everything from our opponent's deck. Vraska's Contempt in there. I'm still trying to do the maths. That's what's so funny about this game. Like, something's not right. And then I think, are they milling us? They got a Patience Builder. I don't run Patience Building in this deck because, you know, I've got 3 Teferis at the top end of the scale. I possibly could maybe fit 1 in this, but I'd rather have the removal like Cleansing Novas and stuff like that than putting Patience Building in the deck. The mill is real. 26. They're down to 26 cards. We're getting there. So have another little look. Whisper's End. They've got card draw. They've got more, obviously, Vraskas, stuff like that. Patience Building does its thing. Mills us a little bit. But this is a race of mill that we should win. Skeleton comes into play. Still on a healthy life of 15 life. Chupacabra comes in. So now the clock is a little bit quicker, you know, 4 power a turn. It's not too bad, but we draw a Chemister's Insight. So now we start milling more. We got them to 20 cards. And now, because we've got obviously 8 mana up there, this is what's so good about this. You can play this. This is why I've got 3 in a deck and not 4. We can play it. We got Revitalize. We draw that. We start milling again. We can Chemisters. And it just goes and goes. Opponents down to 12 cards. And they go, I don't want to see no more. I don't want to see no more. The UW Mil Control has just taken down another deck. So there was the blue-white Mil Control brew of mine. I really hope you enjoyed it. The gameplay, it's just such a fun deck to play. And that combo deck we played was absolutely hilarious and was it was just an amazing game to lose. I just had to keep it in the video. I'm not one of these people who just keep all my wins in there. I like to keep wins and losses because you get to see what everyone else plays as well. But you can see the blue-white control. This is a different way of doing it. Mil is really strong in this free to play. Like when you're playing it like that with the blue-white, you've got card draw. You can just bounce them all off, save up for your mythics. You know, your mythics get Teferi, but it's not the be-all and end-all. As you can see, you can just win with Psychic Corrosions. It's just so strong, that card. It's amazing. With all the card drawing standard, it just seems like a perfect combination. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't see Monday's gameplay video, there'll be a link below, or there's been probably various cards going up along the video as well. Make sure you go and check that out. I'd really appreciate if you go and watch that. Any decks you'd like me to try and grind for, to try and build, put that in the comments as well. I will try and, try my best to try and get them on there. Anyway, I hope you really enjoyed the rest of your week as well. If you're new to us, hit that subscribe button. And as always, hit the likes. And just have a great weekend. And I'll see you on the next video.